Our top focus this evening on the battle for the state of Andhra Pradesh. 175 assembly seats and 25 Lok Sabha seats going in for simultaneous polls in phase 4, along with the 17 Lok Sabha seats of Telangana, along with other states across India. It's a must-win battle for Chandrababu Naidu and his TDP, and one to retain power for Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSRCP. As the battle gets intense, so is the use of money and muscle power on the ground. The Election Commission seized 8.4 crores of cash hidden in pipes and on its way to Guntur district of the state. Andhra has already seen seizures of over 160 crores in cash, liquor and goods, and much like the other states, including Telangana and Karnataka in the south, has seen seizures worth more than double of what was seen in 2019. Like the rest of the country, violent clashes have also been reported between the TDP and YSRCP workers this morning in the Guntur area. The battle is between the TDP, JSP, BJP alliance versus Jagan Mohan Reddy. While Jagan Mohan Reddy has been on an offensive against the TDP, focusing on his government's welfare schemes and reaching out to the minorities, promising to protect reservations given to them, the TDP has been on an offensive against Jagan Reddy, accusing his government of failing to protect law and order and not bolstering the state's economy, focusing on that as the party for development in Andhra Pradesh. Remember, this is also a fascinating simultaneous election. Will it be the alliance arithmetic or Jagan power? What are the X factors in the battle for Andhra Pradesh? Joining us this evening, a special panel, Sandeep Shastri of the Lokniti Network, Soumit Bhattacharjee, Bureau Chief of the Hindu from Visakhapatnam, and NDTV's Umar Sudhir, who's travelled around coastal Andhra Pradesh and is now back in Hyderabad. My first question to you, Shumit Chatterjee. Unlike in 2019, which was an extremely one-way election at the end of it when you saw the results, this is widely recognized to be an extremely close contest between the YSRCP and the TDP, JSP, BJP alliance on the other side. What, according to you, well, there may be many factors like minority appeasement as well as focus on development, anti-incumbency and caste arithmetic. What, according to you, could be potentially a decisive factor at the end of the day that could sway this election?
Raghuveer, first of all, my name is Sumit Bhattacharjee. Yeah, so going ahead with it. The couple of things that is there is not only that, it all depends on freebies. It's the politics of freebies that is happening in Andhra Pradesh. In a couple of elections that we see, both the parties have promised freebies. Now they are trying to combine development with freebies. This apart, the major caste factors also play a role in this. Like the dominant caste factors, which have a major electoral role, is one is the Kapu community and one is the BC community. Okay, who can woo them the best? Okay, so right now, wherever the Kapu leader has been pitched in, the other opposition parties also pitched in a Kapu leader. Like let's take Pitapuram, where Pawan Kalyan is contesting. There also the leader is a Kapu leader for YSRCP. So they're trying to break the caste unity there and things. So ultimately what happens is that, one key factor that would be what I see is that the percentage of voting. If the percentage of voting is high, then it can be a decisive factor from either of the whether opposition or the ruling party.
Right. As you put that point out, Sumit, I just want to go across to Professor Sandeep Shastri. This is also a fascinating simultaneous election, assembly and parliamentary election here. Do you see all sides benefiting equally from the alliance that they've made? And I mean the TDP, JSP, BJP alliance. Or is there a concern it may play out, this alliance may play out differently at the assembly election level and differently at the parliamentary election level?
Veera, if you recall, I told you yesterday that yesterday's rally was like a Namoka rally. Na for Naidu, Mo for Modi, Ka for Pawan Kalyan. I think the coming together of these three leaders, as demonstrated by yesterday's road show, I think raises important questions about the contest in Andhra relating to the caste arithmetic, relating to alliance chemistry, and also relating to what our friend just now said, development economics. The caste equations in Andhra, the YSR Congress looking at caste from their perspective, whereas the TDP-led alliance is trying to also, through this alliance, bring together important caste groups as part of their strategy. Critical is the alliance chemistry. How much is the alignment effective between the three parties, especially on the ground in terms of vote transfer? The leaders have come together. Will these supporters actually come together? And the last point, which is about development economics. Yes, there are freebies. Yes, there are promises, but the voter will go by past record of performance on the ground with regard to these three promises. So the caste arithmetic, the alliance chemistry, and the development economics, I think, plays out in this election in Andhra.
As you're pointing that out, let me just go across to Uma on the alliance chemistry aspect of this. Uma, how is it playing out at the grassroots? Obviously, you had some TDP erstwhile leaders who shifted over to the BJP, moving back in and out, as you've seen in several of the other states. How does it play out at the grassroots in terms of bringing the JSP, TDP and BJP together?
One is arithmetic, one is chemistry, which we always talk about when it has to do with voters and elections. And yes, the NDA alliance would be hoping that the arithmetic of the caste equation, Kama and Kapu, which is a backward caste. Kama is a party that is seen to be largely supporting the Telugu Desam. Them coming together is seen as something that should help. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi's own popularity and the BJP's image as a pro-development party, that is something that should have played a positive role for the NDA to come to power. The second part is the chemistry and the arithmetic that YSRCP is working on. The chemistry that Jagan Mohan Reddy has with the people because of the huge welfare rollout that he has done, and something that he seems to have delivered at the doorsteps of the people, and therefore the arithmetic of an SC, ST, even the OBC category, and also the minorities, Christians as well as Muslims who may be coming together with the Jagan Mohan Reddy camp. Two things you asked Mr. Sandeep Shastri as well about the difference between the parliament election and the assembly election. Whilst one surveyor who I spoke to yesterday had this to say that the assembly election is going to be very different from the parliament election outcome, I don't think so, for the simple reason that Andhra Pradesh is one state where both the TDP and the YSRCP have shown inclination to be with the centre. So will they vote with the TDP in order to get benefits from the centre? I must say the experience between 2014 and 2019, the people's perception at least was that the BJP had not helped the state to develop at a time when it has just been bifurcated, and that is one reason that there has been anger among the people towards the BJP, and that's one reason BJP was not able to in fact grow as a party in Andhra Pradesh. So now will they change their mind? They do know that Jagan Mohan Reddy also is friendly with the centre and likes to get whatever he can get done. When Telangana was not able to do many things, Jagan Mohan Reddy was able to get those funds. So that argument may not work in this particular case. But yes, when you asked about the X factors, other than caste, other than the welfare versus development argument, there is also the capital issue. In fact, we were in Guntur district where we were talking about the capital issue, about those who had given the land for pooling and otherwise. And in this particular case as well, those regions that are in the capital region certainly wanting that Amaravati should be the capital. Rest of the state, it may not really play out as a factor. And then, of course, the Congress coming in and how much of a damage will it be able to do, especially the kind of speeches and the line that YS Sharmila has been taking, and that has not added just to their narrative in a Kadapa district, but also to the kind of narrative that NDA, Chandrababu Naidu and Jagan Mohan and Pawan Kalyan have built against Jagan Mohan Reddy, calling him certain names which are...
Okay, Uma, just as we are focusing on that aspect that you're saying in terms of the capital and other issues which we'll pick up as we go along, a quick focus to Sumit, very quickly, do we then see this, while there are issues like, for instance, how are the minorities going to vote? How is the TDP going to perhaps look at its own vote base? As we speak of those, should we also see this as an election of sub-regions, for instance, the coastal, north coastal, south coastal, differently from Rayalaseema?
Yeah, Rayalaseema voting pattern would be quite different to the coastal voting pattern, because coastal, if you look at the coastal side, it has been predominantly TDP based, and Rayalaseema had been an YSRCP based. So the factors, like as Uma was talking about, this capital will play a major role in the coastal region, including Guntur, Krishna, that belt, of course. So there may be some differences of voting between, but as far as Uma said, capital per se may have an impact at that particular region. It may not have a statewide impact on that. So that is one reason that we should see it in a different perspective. That region-wise voting could be different,
Right.
Rayalaseema and coastal.
It's fascinating because in 2014, for instance, YSRCP had a 1% edge
One
over
issue
the
that you
TDP
spoke about.
BJP alliance in Rayalaseema region, whereas it changed differently. Uma, just coming down to you as we are closing this conversation, just coming down to you, you were making an important point, and we are going to play the interviews that you've done in Guntur as well. But just post that. In terms of this sub-regional divide, quickly, very briefly, how do you see this playing out as we lead into your interviews from Guntur?
See, very clearly when we're talking about the regions of Andhra Pradesh, the Rayalaseema region, the southern part of the state, certainly Congress was a dominant party there, and therefore seen also as a YSRCP bastion. It was seen as a Reddy bastion, and that's also the region where in fact you have more of the minority population there. Also you have some minority population in Guntur region, and yes, the minority population voting is going to be important at a time when the BJP has been making announcements about no reservation for the Muslims on the basis of religion, and Naidu has been at pains to explain, saying that we are going to stick with the 4% reservation that we are giving to the Muslims, and that will continue, because the perception otherwise is that any alliance that has the BJP may not be having the minority vote. Of course, in the northern and the north coastal regions, you will see the Kama vote playing out, and also Kapu vote playing out, when very often we say that whoever is the kind of outcome that you see in the Godavari districts and in Krishna district, that will perhaps determine who comes to power in Andhra Pradesh. But going back to Guntur, where in fact just today at the borders 8 crore rupees was seized, and in a very ingenious manner that money had been in fact hidden inside trucks, 8 crore rupees from a single truck. That's also the place where the so-called richest candidate at least has declared an assets of over 8,700 crore rupees. That person is taking on Kilari Rosaya, who says that this person is an outsider and his only claim to fame is the richest, but we are the ones who have the connect with the people. He's also pointing to the example of a Jaydev Galla, who used to be an industrialist from that very Guntur Lok Sabha seat, and in fact opted out because it appeared that the YSRCP was not industry friendly. Let's listen into what both Pemasani Chandrasekhar, said to be the richest candidate in this election, versus Kilari Venkata Rosaya, the YSRCP candidate.
As long as it fits with my ideology.
We are here in Guntur, and the man who has been making news as one of the richest MP candidates, this time from the Telugu Desam, Mr. P. Chandrasekhar. He's also very interesting because he's someone, I understand, had humble beginnings, medical professional, and then became an entrepreneur and coming back to contest from homeland.
Yes.
How has this experience so far been?
Experience is as expected, because I grew up in this area for the first 25 years. I grew up in the political backdrop, so none of this is new to me.
It's interesting that Guntur Lok Sabha seat was held earlier also by someone who was moneyed, an entrepreneur, and perhaps quite similar in many ways, when Mr. Jaydev Galla has not shown any more interest for very peculiar reasons, very specific reasons, of perhaps being a little disappointed with the political system. you are making a foray?
See, I don't know why you guys are focusing so much on the money aspect, right? But unfortunately, these days politics has become an expensive process. That is the change. Actually, we all need to discuss about it, right? Not common people cannot contest in any of these elections.
So what are you telling your voters? What is the reason that they must vote for you?
Oh, there are so many reasons. Number one, see, most of the time when people come, what is the main reason they are coming into the politics, right? That is the fundamental ideology. I don't need to come because I have probably all the comforts that anybody could ask for in this world. And the reason I came is mainly because of I want to give it back to the society. That is the main reason. Once you have that ideology, you can patiently listen to most human problems and solve most of them on a prior. You know how to, as an entrepreneur, you know how to prioritize.
In the last 5 years, the argument by your political leaders of your party has been that no jobs, no development and so on. So what are you telling people when you're going? Is yours only about your campaign, or do you also talk like a politician and say about what YSRCP or Jagan is not doing?
No. See, the real issue is when TDP was there between 14 and 19, in addition to those 3 universities and whatever the buildings that were already constructed, Chandrababu Naidu sir gave permissions to 130 institutions total, including HCL Technology, Basavatarakam Indo Cancer Institute, Indo-UK Research Center, like this, and the biggest they also planned a biggest convention center like this, total 130. Jagan Mohan Reddy garu completely cancelled all 130 GOs. So now, as soon as we come, we have to go and ask them. Again, it's a 2 to 3 year process, even to request and somebody to come and creating a project report, building some infrastructure, creating a jobs will take 2 to 3 years. That's why I'm telling everybody, whoever is listening to it, we can't give you job on day one. This is the problem when you elect a government the government that doesn't have this pro-development nature. You don't lose 5 years, you typically lose 7 to 8 years minimum.
Guntur also has a substantive minority population, and with the BJP talking about removing reservation for minorities, isn't that a point of concern as well?
Yes, absolutely. But I want to assure all Muslim community and Christian minorities and everybody, see, 4% reservations is in a court situation, and TDP government actually paid the money to argue in the court. So definitely TDP would not go back on those reservations. So what we are telling to the communities is, we're asking your help because the state is in a lot of debt. We don't have capital, we don't have polavaram, we don't have a single industry. So we need the support of the central government. That is the reason we're going from the front door, unlike Jagan Mohan Reddy, who is going behind and from the back door.
When campaigning once again in fact picks up, and I'm here with Killari Venkat Rosaya, who is the YSRCP candidate. This is really capital area, and your party has said 3 capital, and therefore the resonance of the capital area that Mr. Chandrababu Naidu had proposed, that is very high. Are you facing that as a challenge?
No, there is no much difference between earlier government and now. What has happened is Chandrababu Naidu has cheated the people. So instead of constructing the capital in the area of only 1,000 acres, he has pulled up 55,000 acres. There is no much need of it. Actually, the time was given by the public in 2014 to 2019. He could have constructed the capital there, and he could have bring him name also. But now what he has done is he want to become a richest man in the world. So he has gone to 55,000 of acres, pulled such much of land, and want to do the real estate business. That has boomeranged in 2019 elections.
You spoke about richest candidate. The person who is put up against you is actually the richest candidate. Did that make a difference?
Yes, he is the richest candidate, but the only thing is people are coming knowing of him now. He has not paid a single rupee in government of India or Andhra Pradesh. He has his assets at USA, not at Guntur. We have a track record based on the my business track record, my father's track record, father-in-law's track record. We are known to people, whereas the opponent person is not known to each and everyone. So he has come from America. and he want to contest, and he says that he is richest. There's only one point from his side is only richest.
Do people ask you about the capital issue when you go out campaigning, when people are talking? Does it bother you? Does it bother people?
There is no actually any objection from the people from the capital area, because day before yesterday I was in the Tulur area. There's no much capital issue. People, now we can only say only one word. Chandrababu Naidu has cheated thousands of farmers. He has pooled land, waste of land, and he has cheated the people.
What are you telling people why they should vote for you? You have, of course, been someone who's represented. This is a belt of tobacco as well as the chili belt. And you have been very actively involved with the market yard running and all
Yes. See, what is happening is the earlier Guntur parliament candidate. Last 2 terms, the people has voted for the Telugudesam party, which people have never seen a single time in the constituency. Now he has not spent a single rupee also. He is not utilized even MP lads also. So he is also a richest person. He belongs to that Amaron batteries, Mr. Galla Jaydev. He has been elected 2 terms, not seen for the people, and not even a single time. As a legislator, I have not seen him in any of the official programs also. So 2 terms, the Guntur people who has been cheated by this Telugudesam party. Now another person has come from America. Those people doesn't want to cheated by TDP. So they want YSRCP to win this seat.
The alliance is seeking to bring the Kamma and the Kapu vote together. You, of course, are a Kapu leader as well. How do you think the alliance can work? Because Mr. Pawan Kalyan is also belonging to that community, and the hope for the alliance is also that it will bring together these 2 powerful, politically powerful groups.
It is impossible to bring Kapu and Kamma community to each other. It is impossible. Whatever the trials that have been made by Pawan Kalyan and Chandrababu Naidu, it won't work it off also. Because now Kapu people have clearly known that Chandrababu is a key person who has cheated Kapu community earlier in 2014 and 2019. So people never believe him, and we also never believe him also. And it is the only thing YSRCP, Jagan has given a lot of seats compared to Telugudesam people. Jagan has given 30 MLA seats and 5 parliament seats, whereas TDP has given only 14 seats and 2 parliament seats of their joint operations. So people never believe Chandrababu Naidu.
The battle for Guntur as well as the battle for Andhra Pradesh. We'll keep a close tab of all the developments there, but that's all we have time for on the Southern View this evening. News and updates continue right here on